Hello, welcome to Win, Lose, or Cry, Maple Leafs podcast. This is episode 5. We made it to 5 episodes already. That's great. We're going to get started. We have a couple games this week. We actually just finished watching the Flyers game. Was it the Flyers? Yeah, it was Flyers
Yep.
game. We just finished watching that game. A little sleepy. I had a coffee. We're good to go. We're going to start straight away with the Tampa win, 2-1. Pretty decent game, all things considered. I still think Muzzin's not looking the best. I mean, I've said this the last couple of weeks. He looks kind of injured. The Sergachev hit on Marner. I want to talk. I want to let you guys talk about that. What are your opinions on that? Like, to me, it was a late hit, right to the head. I think he got 2 game suspension. I think he should have got maybe a bit more. I think that should have been a penalty shot because he got hooked and then he slowed down and then Sergachev caught up and hit him in the head. I think that should have been a penalty shot and he should have been game misconduct. But what do you guys
Chase,
think?
you want to go there first, Chase?
Yeah, I'll go first. The 2 game suspension, I'm okay with. It's pretty standard right now. Sergachev does not have any kind of history for these kind of hits. He's not a repeat offender, and it's been the pretty much go-to for anyone that's kind of the first offense for head hits or any kind of suspensions. Being a penalty shot, it's hard to call those necessarily penalty shots because it needs to be a full clear break. Even if he's getting hooked, you got to still have that space, and it has to disrupt the scoring, like an open scoring chance, where I don't know if that would have necessarily classified as one. Either way, that it should have been a game. That should have been like a game misconduct. Because I saw him in the overtime period as well, blocking shots in the highlight pack. And to me, any type of head hit should be like
out.
it's a suspension, and it should be a 5-minute major, and then with a 10-minute on top for a 5-minute hit to the head and a 10-minute game misconduct. Just because we got to get that kind of play out. It's dangerous.
Exactly. I believe he only got the 2 minutes though, which is they got the 5-on-3 right after that, and we'll get to that. Oh Lord, we will get to that.
Yeah. But Sergachev, like he's not the type of player that's ever been too dirty. He plays on an edge, even when he was playing in Windsor in the OHL. He played with a bit of an edge, but he's never necessarily crossed it. But you still got to be careful, especially when you're on the bigger stage. And this kind of hit has been brought to a real head, especially when you have the instance in the playoffs with Kadri doing these pretty much almost an identical hit on Falk. And you're seeing how things can go. So the minute you start getting branded with that kind of tag, the rest will start watching you even closer. So you just got to be a little more careful.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to it. I was just gonna jump in and say I agree. It shouldn't have been a penalty shot, and it wasn't. But it was a hooking call. I don't think they should have awarded a penalty shot to it. But I do agree it should have been a 5-minute. It should have been misconduct, and I do agree with the suspension of 2 games.
Like I wasn't getting at it like, oh, he should be suspended 10 games. It's just like you said, Chase. Like, we got to get that out of the game. So I thought he would have gotten maybe a game or 2 more than that.
No, you can look at some of the other hits that have gone on where a head has been involved, right? Like we've talked about hits in the last couple episodes where players have been hit into the boards head first. It's a different hit, but the suspension they seem to be giving out is 2 games.
Yeah.
So at least it's a consistent number that we're seeing.
Yeah.
It's not like 2 games for him, 10 games for him, 5 for him. It's pretty far so far this season. It has been an average of 2 games for a dangerous head shot.
Would you? In your
Marner
guys'
sorry.
I was just gonna say, in your guys' opinion, because it was after the whistle, I thought that might add to the degree because it was clearly after the whistle when he did it, and that's why I thought it's a bit more severe.
They probably looked at it in the sense where when the player starts committing to a hit and there's going to be a whistle being called almost simultaneous, it's hard for guys to pull up because they're committed. They're already got their line. They have the speed. The only thing that would have probably made it a little bit of a longer suspension if there was a full injury on the play. Since Marner was able to come back into the game and be a big piece to that win, they looked at it as, okay, it was a head hit, but since there's no injury, we'll keep it at 2 games.
Yeah, that's fair.
So with that comment, though, he was heading for a headshot. Like he could have let up after the whistle.
Could have hit the shoulder.
I think I still think a 2-game suspension is correct. However, because that hit came after the whistle, he should have been thrown out of the game right then and there.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Right? Like
I'm not
that's
disagreeing with
if
that.
it happened during the play, it's arguable.
5-minute
right?
major
But
or something like
the
that,
fact
yeah.
that it happened after the whistle and he still hit the headshot, he should have been kicked out of the game right then and there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy how he only got a 2-minute for that.
Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, guys, I alluded to it earlier. What did you think on that 5-on-3? Might have been it might have been the worst
what's there to
5-on-3
say?
I've ever seen. That was
Yeah.
terrible.
They did nothing.
They had a
literally-
full 2 minutes.
Yeah, because it was what? It was like a minute 58, wasn't it?
No, it was two. They gave.
It was two.
They
Was
gave,
it 2 minutes?
Yeah, because they gave Sergachev and I don't remember who hooked him. They gave.
Okay.
They gave them both 2 minutes at the exact same time for that play, and they did nothing. They just. I said it last one. Ring around the rosy, man. I think they took 2 shots.
I don't even know. I don't know.
It was the worst. It was the worst 5-on-3 I've ever seen.
Yes.
What do you think, Chase?
I agree with that.
Oh, I will fully agree, but I've seen this happen with several teams before. It's when you start scoring, when your big guns start scoring, everything now it seems to become a little bit easier for them. So they start looking for that picture perfect shot.
That's what they
So
always
they're
do.
constantly moving the puck, or they'll try to force something that's not there. So that's what even I saw a couple times tonight for the Leafs. The same thing is they're trying to force either too much of that picture perfect play, or they're looking too much for like the pretty passing plays.
Yeah.
Where they just gotta bear down, like make 2 or 3 passes, and there's something that will be open. Take the shot, get the rebound. Like doesn't have to be pretty. Just get the puck in the net.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
And they don't take a lot of shots in those scenarios.
No,
it's aggravating.
no, they took a lot of shots that game though.
Yeah, they did. It's just the power play for some reason. Like Chase said, they always like, oh, the power play's got to be this beautiful snipe. No, just put it on net. You have a 5-on-3. There's no reason you can't get shots in.
And you know what? I think that's why, for at least the start of the season, the second power play unit has been more effective. Is because when you have Matthews on the ice, you're looking for him. Matthews knows to get open and just stand there waiting for the one-timer, and the rest of the players know, get the puck to Matthews. He's going to hit the one-timer. But the second power play lineup is like, hey guys, we got a man advantage. Let's get the puck to the net. And look how it's turned out for them. They've been producing with it. So I think there's something to be learned there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead. I got a couple more things to bring up. Just a couple small things. I thought overall they played a good game. Other than they had a couple of defensive breakdowns at the start, led to a goal in the first. Marner looks like he's just like you said. He looks like he's got the monkey off his back. He's playing fast. He's playing fun. Even if it's not always going in, he's playing like he's enjoying it again. And it's more fun to you see him now. He's like, oh, Martin made a move, and he's done a pretty good point streak lately. They played terribly in that third period, except for one player. Jack Campbell stole the show in that third period. Like, they had Tampa had at least 4 or 5 breakaways, and Campbell was making highlight save after highlight save until the very end of the game. And at the very end, the Leafs the Leafs do their Leaf thing. There's 5 minutes left in the game. They realize, hey, we should play hockey. Tavares scores with 41 seconds left. Amazing play with him, Marner, and Matthews. And then Nylander, of course, our Lord and Savior, scores an OT winner on an actually very dominant 4-on-3 power play. They shot the puck. They looked great.
They did. So anytime you have 3 players, like a 3-on-3, there's a lot more puck movement. There's a lot more opportunity. Once you jump to that 4-on-3, it changes the game altogether. right? I personally think that a 4-on-3 is more powerful than a 5-on-3.
Really?
Because you have one less player on the ice and more room to skate and move the puck.
That's fair.
And I think that's why it was so dominant. Plus, they just came off that Tavares goal with 41 seconds left, which was a fantastic goal that he got.
Beautiful.
Absolutely fantastic goal. And I think coming off the momentum of that goal is why that power play was so hot, right? You get that goal, boom, you're back in the game, overtime starts, and if, like, correct me if I'm wrong, they got that power play, like, within the first minute, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, the first minute or 90 seconds, they had the power play, and they had all the momentum in the world, and, I mean, you saw how it ended, right? Personally, I wasn't actually too happy with the way they played this game. I'm not saying they played bad. I'm just saying that game could have been a 5-0 game for Tampa, if not for
Jack
Campbell.
Yeah,
Right?
like I said, the third period they played awful. It should have been 6-1 if not for him.
No, I'm taking the one out. The Leafs, if they had 4 or 5 goals, Leafs wouldn't have pulled the goalie and we wouldn't have got that one goal. Like it should have been a 4 or 5-0 game. However, in the last 5 minutes, like you said, it was a different team playing. The first 55 minutes, the last 5 were 2 different teams.
I thought they played a good second period.
And they didn't play bad. That's what I don't want to come across as saying they played bad. They didn't play bad.
But they weren't dominant.
They weren't dominant. Like, they didn't play like they did against Vegas, and they didn't play like they did against Boston. Like, they were just there competing. They weren't there to win, in my opinion.
It's what I always say. You don't know what Leafs team you're getting night in, night out. It's, are they going to come in like, we need to win this game, or hey, let's play some shinny tonight. You never know. It wasn't so inconsistent.
It wasn't even shinny though. Like, they did come to play, and they were playing against a good team. Like, Tampa's a strong team.
Minus Kucherov. I just want to mention that.
They didn't have Kucherov last year, and look how they did. They can win without him easily, right? And they lost. So, I'm not saying they played bad. I'm just saying that they've played better.
Yeah.
So far this year, right? And I wanted to see a little more out of them. But what I saw from the 5-minute mark onward is exactly what I wanted to see.
They just need to do more than 5 minutes of a game.
Yeah, and then Campbell. So I'm sitting here. I'm going to tell you something.
All right.
During that third period, I felt like Oprah Winfrey. And I'm going to explain that for a second. Okay. I felt like Oprah Winfrey when negotiating Jack Campbell's contract.
Oh, God.
You get $1 million. You get $1 million. You get $1 million. You get another $1 million. And another $1 million.
He's so good.
Every breakaway that he saved, I was like, oh, that's $1 million. Oh, that's another $1 million. Oh, we're at $3 million now. $4 million. $5 million. And then he wins the game, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. Like, I felt like that's how I felt watching it play. Is just every single time they came down, and he stopped them. I was like, wow, that was incredible. That's gonna cost a lot next year. So it was fun, but at the same time, I'm trying not to think about the negatives and about the contract negotiations. But at the same time, it's there. Like, you do got to think about it.
He only makes $1.5 million right now.
Isn't he 1.6? 1.6 or something like that?
1.5.
It doesn't even matter.
It's low.
It doesn't even matter. I think we'll talk about his contract in a little bit when we finish up the games there, because I have a couple opinions on it. But Chase, do you have anything else to add to that game?
No, not really. The only other point is the Leafs, as you guys said, they were a little slow to the gun, because there's a couple times where I saw like they had Tampa on their heels, but they just couldn't get that extra gear to take advantage of, and it just allowed the Lightning to play they keep playing their style of game and get in breakaways. And luckily Campbell was on his A game, and he stood on his head to keep that a 1-0 game for as long as he could, and the Leafs were able to capitalize on a great passing play with the net empty. So good resilience in Campbell. The Leafs finally, it's good to see that they woke up for him.
Yeah, because that would have sucked for him to play that good of a game and them lose 1-0, because the one of the most offensive teams in the league can't score.
How often did that
I'm-
happen to Freddie?
Don't break my heart.
Too
Don't
many
break my
times.
Don't break my heart.
How many times was Freddie left out to dry?
How many? Not even how many times. How many seasons?
You know what I think about sometimes about this high scoring team, how they let Freddie Anderson take a loss in that David Ayers game.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't score on a. It's been said to death, but like thinking about that, it's like you really made Freddie take the L there.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I know
Yeah.
you did. You were there. You got off on that crap.
All right, Chase, you want to take us into Boston game there? That was Boston. Boston was Saturday night, right?
Yes, that was
Yeah.
the Saturday nighter.
Yeah. Okay.
From what I saw and going through the highlight packs and everything, it looked like a pretty even game, just back and forth, barn burning hockey. The Bruins woke up in the third period, and even though like the shots might show that it was tilted one way, it was just the Bruins were firing pucks from everywhere, just trying to get shots on net, hoping for a bounce, a tip. The Leafs did a great job taking advantage of a Bruins team right now that's trying to find their identity, and they really outplayed a team that arguably has one of the best overall top lines in the league, and they shut them down. And having the big four rolling again was key in keeping Ullmark's field of vision away from a lot of the shots. That definitely helped, because Ullmark has showed, even when he was in Buffalo and the small sample size we've seen him in Boston, is if he can see the puck, there's a very, very good chance that he's going to stop it. So Toronto put traffic in front of him, moved the puck very well, got him down, and they were able to take the opportunities and cash in on them. They were outshot 44-36, but by watching the game, you wouldn't know it was like that. They went 2 for 4 on the power play and 3 for 4 on the penalty kill. Like they shut down the Bruins, who have a really good amount of depth, but they played extremely well. And again, Campbell stood up big when he had to, when the Bruins started putting the pucks on net and starting to try to turn the ice into their favor. So all in all, to me, it was a good game for the Leafs.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to say this now. I know we're 14 games in. If the Leafs play like that, if they play the way they played against Boston, they are making it past the second round. But that's it.
So here's the
They will not go past the second round if they play the way they played against Boston.
But
That's my statement. I'll say they'll make it past the first, they'll make it past the second, unless something weird happens, but they will not make it past the third round.
But again, here's the problem, buddy. Like, you gotta think compliment sandwich, but like the inside's the good stuff. Because you're saying that if they played like they played against Boston, they'll do good. The game before, you didn't like the way they played. They won, but it was very close. You didn't like the way they played. Boston played good. Next game, they lost 5-1 against the Kings.
Okay,
Like,
hold on there.
The sample size there kind of says they're not going to play like that.
Brandon, of those 3 games, how many did they win?
They won 2. I'm just saying they didn't play like you say. If they
I
play,
agree.
you know what I mean? You know
I agree.
I would love.
I do.
I would love if they played like that every night, but they.
No, I don't think they do. But if we can see how they played again, if they play like that in the playoffs, I think they'll beat the first round. They'll probably beat the second, but they will not go past the third round because of the third period. They let 23 shots on net in that third period there, and you can't be doing that in the playoffs. But the way they played that game was incredible. I mean, Campbell played very well, stopping 42 shots I think he had on net and he saved. Everybody there, the Leafs were throwing the body. They were winning battles. They were killing the penalty. The power play was working.
Power play was good.
Like, yeah, right. Like they're 50% on the power play, 75% on the penalty kill. So like the special teams were working. like I said, everyone was throwing the body. Bunting was out there pushing people around all game long,
Bunting.
which was always fun to see. Tavares stood on his head, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like he carried that team through that game. And I think he's off to the best start he's had potentially ever. I have to go back and look it up, but I mean he's a point per game right now, I think.
It's either this year or his first year with the Leafs.
Yeah. Like he's playing incredible. He's the tied for the top point leader on the team right now. Like I think I was very, very happy with the Leafs how they played that game. I have nothing negative to say other than the 23 shots on net in the third period was bad. And I mean, Pasternak got that goal, which was a nice goal, and there wasn't much they could do about it. But I don't have many negative things to say at all. Like they played an incredible game, and I hope that's what we keep seeing out of this team.
I must admit, the Leafs did do me a good favor that game. I missed the gym that day, and when the Leafs were up 4-1 in the third and decided to let in all those shots, my heart rate was pumping enough to get a sweat going.
I wasn't even worried.
I said we have a group chat, and I said it's 4-1. I'm scared. And then some of you guys were like, "Oh, Brandon, why are you scared?" Immediately scored, made it 4-2. I'm like, they're gonna if they lose this game with a 4-1 lead, I was gonna snap. I was gonna make like a night of win, lose, or cry, even if it was by myself, and just flip out if they lost that way. I was scared.
I wasn't worried at all. I genuinely was not. The way they were playing was too good, and even though Boston, yes, they did. Go back and watch it. They scored on the power. They scored on the power play.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-on-1 coming down. I forget who passed it, but like it was two players coming down that you don't expect to stop, and you know what? We didn't stop them. However, out of the 23 shots they got, not a lot of them were good scoring opportunities.
It's just
like the Leafs did a good job of. They got lots of pucks on net, but the Leafs did a good job of shutting down the defensive zone and taking away prime scoring opportunities, except for the one that they got on the power play, right? Which was the only power play, the only penalty kill that they let up on.
I was just getting deja vu vibes.
I know, but the way they were playing, I wasn't worried at all.
They played a great game. There was like that 10-minute stretch in the third where I was like, but other than that, like you said, power play looked phenomenal. Matthews' 2 goals. His one-time run on the power play was a freaking rocket. And then his backhand on the power play later in the game. Again, it was like top corner backhand. Oh, loved it.
Yeah.
The one controversial thing in that game is, of course, that Marner goal where Bergeron knocked somebody into the net.
Tavares.
Yeah, knocked Tavares into the net, knocked off the net. And I thought it was going to get called back.
So did I.
Yeah, until I read the new rule. I'm not sure. Did you guys read the rule? It's like it was updated this year.
I saw it.
Yeah. The whole it's a good goal as long as the defender it's a good goal if the defender knocked off the net when there is an imminent scoring chance, which there definitely was, and they changed it. I think it was last year or the year before. This year. It was this year, and it was like it wasn't imminent scoring chance. Like there had to have been a shot before they knocked it off, and so in the old rule that would have been waved off. Thankfully, not. So we got that goal. So it was nice.
Yeah. I personally I saw it. I watched it happen. I was like, oh yeah, that's not a goal. Like it's not.
Yeah.
And I would have never known that was a rule.
Yeah. You know what?
I've never seen something like that happen.
You know what I would like the NHL to do? I shouldn't have to go on Twitter to see why that's a goal. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have to go on Twitter to find people posting about the rule to find out that it's a goal.
Yeah.
Like, just like as per Rule 6, like it takes 10 seconds to do.
Yeah. Right? No, I agree. They should have announced something.
Yeah. But they have this whole thing where the refs aren't like they have no stake in it. Like I know, and like is it NBA where they have to like write a report afterwards? And they not the NFL, the NBA, they have to write reports after the game to explain what some controversial calls that they've done. The NHL refs are just like do whatever you want, man. That's why we have this whole like a couple years ago, like what is goalie interference, and this whole kicking motion thing this year, where there's been like 5 goals that have been straight up kicks that have been counted, and other ones that weren't kicks that were called. Yeah, like they got to do better at like explaining the rules sometimes.
Well, at the beginning of every season, when they do a rule change, they release like a presser on it and the rule book to say, and they tell you what rules have been changed, so you can go like read it. But at the same time, too, that's also a bit on the broadcasting team because they should be like explaining that as well on TV when it's happening.
Yeah, because like
they're supposed to be up to date as well. So it's a drop ball on both sides.
Because like think
the
about
NHL, they do have to be better about it.
What casual fan that wants to watch hockey on a Saturday night
None.
goes at the beginning of the year like I better look up the NHL rulebook for this year just in case. All right, that's
You want me to? I can give one example, but
No.
he's just also a freak.
The answer is no.
No, my brother.
Your brother is not a casual hockey fan.
Your brother is an announcer. Like he's like play-by-play
Yeah,
announcer. What?
Doesn't matter. He's not a
play-by-play
casual
guy's not supposed
fan.
to know the rules. It's the analyst.
No, he's not a casual.
Encyclopedia of sports.
I'm a casual fan. Okay, I can almost name all the Leaf players. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I call a casual fan.
But the ones you do know, can you say their names correctly?
Probably, I've heard them enough times.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, there's that Case guy who's pretty good. I think is that it for the Boston game, though?
That's it for the Boston game. I
mean, it was a good game. Yeah, I agree. They should have explained why they counted that a goal, especially after looking at it for so long. But I mean, it was a good game through and through. Now I want to start the Kings game here.
Go ahead, bud.
We touched on it quickly there for a second, Brandon. I don't care that they lost. I don't care. They lost. Boo-hoo. Move on. That's my opinion. And I can say that.
Yeah.
I can say that right now. But if you'd asked my opinion 4 hours ago, I wouldn't have said anything. The only reason I say that is because we're recording this after the Flyers game, and they just won 3-0.
Yeah.
Right? So, my opinion of it is no team has ever gone 82-0. You're going to lose games. You're going to have poor games. And I was chatting with Chase about this earlier today, before we started recording, because I wanted to get a goalie's perspective on this. Chase, from a goalie's perspective, stopping a breakaway or a major 2-on-1, is it stressful and tiring?
Yes.
How many breakaways and 2-on-1s did Campbell have between that Tampa game and that Boston game? Not to mention, he took 44 shots on net during that Boston game. Campbell was tired, right? This is his first year as a starter. This is his first time being the guy that everyone goes to and being put in every game, especially with Mrazec being out. And you know what? It showed. He was beat up after beating 2 big teams and heavily stepping in to help us win those 2 teams. That, you know what? He played poorly. We lost. But then look what happened the following game. He bounced right back, and he got a shutout. So, you know what? Some games you're going to lose, and the Kings was a game we lost. And that's it. That's my opinion on the game. I don't actually have anything to say except for Tavares scored again. So just check that one up, right? I'm going to ride you about that one later and bug you about that one.
He's playing good, man. He's playing good.
You always complain about him.
I
You always
do.
complain about his contract, and I'm just like, you know what? Without him, where would we be? So,
He's playing very well.
you know, I'd be like, other than that, I have nothing else to say about the game. Like, that's my opinions on that game were sometimes you lose.
Yeah.
Right? It was a team we should have beat. We just won 5 games in a row?
Yeah, 5.
5 games in a row against pretty tough teams. So you know what? We can lose one. So that's all I'm really gonna say. That's my opinion on it.
Chase?
I think it was just a tough game in general for for the Leafs, because after you go through playing Tampa and the Bruins, where it's always heated regardless of if it's regular season game, preseason game, playoff game, you're going to get beaten up because the Bruins, they know that the right way to get under your skin and get those scrums after the whistle, and they're a heavy team regardless of who they bring in or who they trade. They come and they play that old school, if you're in the corner, I'm coming at you full tilt and I'm going to make sure that I get the body on you. So going up against a team like LA right now, who's really, they're playing with no expectations. They know they're in a rebuild and they're trying to get the young guys some ice time and get them moving. It's an okay game to lose, but I agree with James. I think one of the biggest things is Campbell's getting tired. I said this, James, when we were talking, is I was watching, even from the Bruins highlight pack, I noticed it a little bit, but I saw it mostly in LA's. There's a lot of times where he's having to go cross crease in the splits, or he's having to extend the one leg out. And when he's getting up slow, and he's favoring that side. So it's going to get to the point where you're going to see something happen the same way with Freddie, where you can't keep pushing him 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. You have to give him that break, or the body just breaks down. And a guy who has a bit of a history with groin or hamstring injuries, you need him to have that, at least that one game off, just so he can relax and get the body going. But the other key thing was Toronto only won 41.1% of the faceoffs. Yeah. When you're playing a young team that's out there just playing to prove themselves, that's not good, because you're giving them possession. You're allowing them to have the puck a little bit more off the hop. So it's a tough comeback. But one thing I did like seeing, a little bit of a Hamilton connection in that game, was Arthur Kaliev for the LA Kings, who played for the OHL Bulldogs here in Hamilton. He was more expected to be in the NHL. He's stuck around with the big club this year. He's got a few goals already. He's looking pretty good as a 19-year-old. So I'm excited to see that.
That's good to hear. And sorry, just to jump in on your point there, Chase, about can't play him too many games in a row. In my opinion, if Mrazec was healthy, that would have been the game to play Mrazec.
Yes.
Right. That was the game to play the backup, but we don't have that option at the moment.
No.
So
we'll talk. We're gonna get really into that a bit later.
Yeah, I actually probably would have started Mrazec against the Kings and then tonight against the Flyers, because they're too bit of a weaker team. Give Campbell an extra night off just to rest him. But I fully agree with you. Like, that game for sure would have been Mrazec's if he was healthy.
Right, and that it could have led to a different outcome.
Yep.
Right, but I mean that's off the table. So it is what it is. Brian, what's your opinion on that game there?
Again with you guys, I don't think they played particularly bad. I know it's a 5-1 loss, but honestly, like, I'm the same with you guys. I'm like, it's kind of a you win some, you lose some kind of game. I did notice Muzzin again was very. I keep noticing Muzzin. I keep noticing him making weird mistakes. Like I normally like Muzzin, but like all this year he's just looked slow. He looks injured. Like, I'm not saying he's crap. I'm saying he looks off. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? I agree. I think I personally think he's been playing well, not as well as he did last year. But I do think he's not playing bad. However, it does kind of look like he might be playing through something, or there might be something going on there. I don't know for sure, but I personally think he's playing well.
I think he plays well most of the time, but I'm noticing he's making not bad decisions, because like he's got very high hockey IQ. He seems out of position sometimes, and it ends up being like, remember a couple games ago where he like two goal, I think was it the Pittsburgh game, where like 2 of the goals were deflected right off him because he was in bad position or something like that. There's been a lot of goals. That's happened to him multiple times this year. I feel like he gets burned a bit more. And it's not. He looks like he knows where he should be going, but he just looks like he's a step back than he normally is. And
it might be. I mean, he's getting up there. He's had injuries, I think, every year since he's been on the Leafs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he might have something going on. Who knows? So,
Well,
but
we can
I
only
don't know. I think he's been
speculate.
playing well.
Well, he's like, as you guys said, he's getting older, so he's 32. And since 2018, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 injuries, and there's been one lower body, one upper body, and then there's 2 undisclosed injuries that forced him out or on the IR.
Yeah.
So with them being undisclosed, we don't know if that's the lower body that's now starting to cause him to slow down a bit. But
Could
for what Muzzin was brought in for, he's still playing well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you have him playing with either like a Riley or a Brody. So both of the other guys can still skate very well. He's really there just to be that defensive cover in case one of the guys decide to jump up. So he's still playing well. Yeah, he's not playing as good as he has been in the past, but I'm still not saying that he's done. Like he's still got a lot of juice left.
I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying he's noticeably off compared to normal. That's all I'm saying. Like he looks like
I think you just got to give him a little bit more time to wake up because maybe he's sleepy. Maybe his beard's got to go. He's got to change something up.
No,
what are the 2 things?
No, he can't lose the beard. It's beautiful.
Yeah, who knows?
No
maybe it's time to go. All right.
It'd be more dynamic if he shaves the beard.
True.
What are you saying? Something? You saying something?
Well,
The only other thing I wanted to say before we move on is the first goal of the game was Trevor Moore, former Leaf. So that's always. I mean, it's with the, you know what's going to happen every single time with the Leafs. It's always, oh, cool, former Leafs playing the Leafs. So he's scoring tonight. Maybe a hat trick.
It's a common thing.
Yeah. That's all I got for that.
That's all I have for the Leafs there as well. Brandon, what did you think about tonight's Flyers game? Did you catch the game? I know that you said you were going to miss part of it possibly, but
I did miss some of it. I listened to it over the radio.
Okay.
So again, it seemed kind of like a boring game, especially because you two watched on TV. And on the radio, it sounded boring to me, and I'm like, it seems like kind of an uneventful game, other than the kicking goal. And
even the kicking goal was uneventful.
But that was the only thing where
it was also Muzzin assisted it.
Awesome. So. Cool.
That is true.
Again, I'm not hating on Muzzin. I'm just saying he looks injured. I like Muzzin.
He charged into the offensive zone, into the corner, got the puck across very messy and very dirty, and then Nylander kicked it in the net.
Good. He didn't kick it in the net.
Well, it's questionable. The refs said it was a goal. Let me put it this way. The refs said it was a goal. Yay. If it happened against the Leafs, I would have been pissed.
Yeah. But
because if a puck deflects off a skate and goes in, and I can sit here and go, yeah, that's a fair goal, and it happens against the Leafs, I can sit there and go, yeah, that's a fair goal. But that one was so questionably down the line that I'm watching it going, I would have been pissed if I was a Leaf fan if that happened to us.
The problem is there's the refs this year have been letting a lot of those slide that were way more blatant. One of them was against the Leafs earlier this year. And the biggest one was it Seattle, their first game, or Vegas?
Seattle.
And it was a full-on kick. And they're like, no, it's good. It's good. So if they let that be a goal and this not, like, I mean, I asked for consistency, and I guess I'm getting it.
You are. 2-game suspension. 2-game suspension. That's the consistency this year.
Fair. Okay.
No, the kicking motion, they got to tighten it up a little bit. Whether because his blade did come off the ice, right? So although I know that they said the puck hit his skate and bounced before his foot came off, but he had intention to kick it in the net.
It was a close call.
Should that be enough? If you have the intent to kick it in, but you're too slow to react, but it still goes off your skate and goes in, is that a kicking motion? Is that a goal?
I think
that should be the question.
I kind of agreed in a normal situation that probably, I mean, it's still questionable, but I would lean more towards that's a kick. But because of what they've let in already, they've kind of set a precedent that if they didn't let that go in, they'd be facing like torches and shit like that. Like, are you serious? And there'd be all over Twitter, like comparisons, like you let this in, but
Oh.
not this in. Like
Absolutely, there would have
it'd be
been.
crazy because they've let in some bad ones this year already.
For someone that's like removed from the situation, and like to me, it makes no difference. I still say that is a good goal because it does before that foot does come off the ice and anything, the puck is already off the foot. So that could be him trying to change the angle of his skate in that moment after it hit his foot. So I think it's a good goal. I wouldn't have been I would be upset when I saw it live if that went in against like Colorado, but then after seeing the slow like everything broken down, that to me if that went in against Kemper or if that went in against me in a game, I would still be okay because it hits the foot and then goes in the net before the foot comes up and then emotion happens.
Yeah.
So I think they got that call right.
So I was so I saw it happen. I saw the ref call it off right away. I saw the replay. I was like, "That's kicking motion. That's kicking." I left and went to the washroom. I was so positive it was not a goal. I got up and left. And by the time I came back, the game was on, and Leafs were up 1-0. I was like, "Oh, I missed something." Yeah, like I was. That's how positive I was. They weren't gonna allow it. I left. I got up and left. Whoops.
Man, I was actually at the gym for the first period. That's why I missed the first bit, and I had my my headphone in listening to the game live, and I'm just sitting there, and there's like maybe 8 people in there with me, and it's just quiet. Yeah, fuck, because I heard like it's like and a goal. The ref's calling it off. So it was just me loudly yelling that. So
Yeah.
people are looking at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
You dropped the weight on your toe. That's all you got to say.
Thankfully, I wasn't holding any weights. Actually, I would have actually dropped one.
And like it was an immediate called off.
Oh yeah.
Like immediately. So that's why I thought, he's right. He knows better than I do.
I mean.
Hey, you know what? Watching it live though, it makes sense that he called it off. Like, looking back at the replay, like Chase said, looking back at it and seeing that the puck bounced off his skate prior to him lifting his foot, yes, it makes sense that it's a goal. But live and the view that he had of it, no, I would have done the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It looked like a kicking motion live.
Absolutely. It was definitely.
But yeah, no, you're not wrong. It was I know they won 3-0. It was a boring game. Like it was. But Nylander's second goal, not the kicking, the second goal, incredible shot.
Yeah.
Awesome goal. But boring. But like the rest of the game was just boring.
Man, how good is that Nylander contract?
Fantastic.
It's beautiful.
To everybody who complained about it for all those years, suck
Look at
it.
him now.
Like, yeah. So
Our friend Cody's
I'm
got a
happy.
smirk on his face right now, just wherever he is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that contract's looking golden right now.
The only
Yeah.
negative I have for the Leafs in that game is that they only won 42.2% of the faceoffs.
No. Yeah, that's not that great.
Yeah.
That's not that great.
It's not that great.
No.
I mean, we did not have Tavares.
Which is a good point because his, I saw it today. Shoot, his average
It's crazy.
is like 59.5% or something like that, or 59.1%.
Yeah, we did not
I
have.
heard this.
So
we did
not
have
having him,
Tavares.
not having him on the ice hurt.
Yeah.
I heard the stat that Matthews had to take 7 point. I think he was taking 7.9 defensive zone faceoffs tonight, and he normally takes 2.5 in a game because Tavares normally takes most of the defensive zone faceoffs. So that shows the big swing. But either way, that game, just in general, as you guys said, that was just as boring as my men's league game last night where we won 13-2, and I had 10 shots all game long.
Ouch.
So that stinks. Like both those games, you needed to have some booze in you.
I'm sorry. How many? You had 10 shots on net.
One was a screen, and the other one everyone gave up.
That's not my question. You had 10 shots on net.
Yeah, and I let 2 in.
No. But you guys won 13-2.
I had 10 shots on me.
Yeah.
And we
you guys
had
won
probably Yeah,
You
we
could
probably
have
had
skipped the game at that point
Honestly.
and won
Yeah.
13-10.
Oh, but I looked at them after. I'm like, wow, that was a waste of an hour for me.
Yeah. Wow. I just
Like,
pulled it up here. Sorry. Tavares is 59.2% right now. And Comp is 56.8.
They're good at face-offs, man.
Yes.
Very
Just
good face-offs.
guys killing it.
Conf and my boy Kerfoot both had assists on Kosh's goal. Just saying, throwing that out there.
Yeah, Kerfoot. You know what? I will say this: Kerfoot looked good tonight.
Mhm.
He had a good wraparound chance. He almost got a goal on the wraparound, or it almost led to a goal there. So, Kerfoot he's looked good over the last I don't know what's been 6-7 games.
Yeah. So during that winning streak, I started noticing.
I mean, whole team's looking good.
I-
The lineups this game were all messed up though.
Yeah, because it was like
Yes.
last minute, right? It was Dermott and Tavares were out.
Yeah, but even the Dermott doesn't matter, right?
No,
'Cause
but
the
I'm just-
defensive pairing.
Yeah, I'm just
But
saying.
like the offensive, they had weird. I don't remember at the top of my head right now, but it was weird pairings they had. Or
mean,
weird
yeah,
weird
I think the
lineups.
one line was Kasha, Conf, and Kerfoot.
Yeah, but there was one point where Marner and Comp were on the ice at the same time, but it was full strength.
Huh.
Could have
Like,
been like
it was-
a mid change.
Yeah.
Mid-line change.
And it may have been. I just happened to notice them at the same time. But it was I just noticed it was some weird pairings. But they did keep Willie and Matthews together.
You
It's-
got to keep those
yeah.
together.
Yeah, the two of them played well together.
I think that's it for the games.
Yeah,
You guys
I
okay
think-
with the games?
Yep.
Yeah,
We
I mean-
alluded to it already. We got to talk about Mrazec and the goalie situation. Like Mrazec
yes.
makes $3.8 million, so he makes more than double what Jack Campbell makes, who is a NHL record holder right now.
Yep.
And said at the start of the season, I hope Jack Campbell plays as good as he did last year. Well, he definitely is. He's been playing.
look.
He's playing better.
He's playing better. He's playing phenomenally. And like
I'm gonna-
James said, he's going to get a raise. And Mrazek makes the 3.8. He's played a total of 5 periods. And
Yes.
based on what they're saying for his injury, 4 to 6 weeks, he'll have played 5 periods by the Christmas break.
6 weeks. I heard it was just 4 weeks.
They said 4 to 6.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. What I read was 4 weeks. He
Yeah.
was out, but
They may have
And
changed
that makes
it, but
sense.
I did read 4 to 6.
ouch.
So, not great.
No.
And it was a worry we all had coming into the season when you picked up Mrazek because he does have, like Campbell, he has a history of injury, but Mrazek's older. And $3.8 million is a bit rich for him based on that, and that 3.8 is not really going to a great place right now.
No.
What do you
So
guys think the answer is? Because we can't really have, like we said, we can't have Campbell play 70 games out of an 82-game season
They'll-
and have
they'll
Joseph
get
Wall
rid of-
play.
They'll get rid of Mrazek.
But even if they get rid of him, who do they replace him with?
Someone.
Just
They'll
Guy?
they'll find someone. Like right now,
It's Joseph Wall, and I don't know how. I've never actually watched him play.
it's Joseph Wool until he plays his first game and gets blown out. Then Hutchinson's back in.
He's playing this weekend. He's gonna be-
Hutchinson?
Yeah, no, Wall. He's playing this Saturday.
Wall?
Or
Did you see his record with the Marlies so far?
no, and
I had it up on the screen.
they're a very, very bad Marlies team.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
2-1.
Marlies-
He's 2-1 with a what is it? 895 goals against average.
That would be save percentage.
Sorry, save percentage. 895. He's 2-1 on the team.
However, he's still like he's he's young, so that could just be a bit of a slow start. I still give it 2 to 3 years and he'll be a solid goalie with the Leafs. But there is a rumor floating that Justin Hall could be traded to Pittsburgh because they are looking for another defenseman, and that could involve Louis Domingue coming back the other way to help with the goaltending. Louis Domingue has played in. He's backed up Vasilevsky. He's been with I think it was Calgary was his last stop. Played a few games. Like he's a good backup that can give you some relief. He's not. I don't know if he's going to be necessarily the correct answer to give Campbell that break, because I think Campbell needs a little bit more of that 1A 1B mix, just so that way you don't burn him out.
Well, look at that Kings game, right?
Exactly. But if you have Domingue in the minors and you keep Mrazec, and let's say he gets hurt every third game, at least you have Domingue that can come up and at least spot start to help until Mrazec can come back and play 5 more periods before he gets hurt again. So that could be an option there. But
sorry, you guys, you said, Brandon, you said Wool is playing this weekend?
Yes. This is a back-to-back Friday, Saturday.
I hope he's playing Saturday. I'm looking at the schedule. I really hope he plays Saturday and not Friday.
Why, James? Who are we playing Friday and Saturday?
Well, Friday is the Calgary Flames, who are second place in their division. They're 7-2-3.
They're pretty good.
They're off to a pretty good start. So let's not put the rookie goaltender against them and make him cry.
It looks like right now Wall is expected to play against the Sabres, and the Sabres have Aaron Dell starting. So
that'll be fun.
There's no expectations in that game.
No. Realistically, even if Wool lets by 6 goals, the Leafs should still win that game.
Yes.
Hypothetically, the Leafs should still win that game.
So we know they're losing. We know they're losing that game then. Because if logically they should win, they will always lose. We have seen it time and time again.
What? No. They're gonna beat the Flames and probably beat the Sabres.
Do you want to bet that not on the Flames game, because Flames are good, it can go either way. Do you want to bet? I'm betting that the Leafs lay a stinker against the Buffalo Sabres, because it's hockey night in Canada. They're going to have Joseph Woll in, and everyone's like, got to play for the goalie. And every time the Leafs should have a win secured, they fuck it up.
So what? Okay, so you said. So how bad do you think the game will go? You said a stinker. Are you talking they're going to lose?
Yes.
Are you talking they're going to lose by 4?
I think they're going to lose. I don't think it's going to be like a 7-1 Pittsburgh situation, because they don't have the Buffalo doesn't have the scoring to do that. I think it's going to be like a 4-1 loss or something like that. Like,
so you think the Leafs are going to lose by 3?
2 or 3 goals. I'll say 3-1 just to be on the safe side. But I'm betting whether they win or lose, because you're saying they're going to win 100%. I'm like, no.
They are. I'm not 100%. No, just like 96. But I'll take that bet. I think they're gonna win the game.
All right, what are the stakes here?
I don't know. I don't know. But Leafs are beating the Sabres.
We'll talk stakes as this goes on, and maybe offline too, and we'll post it on Twitter what we think what the bet's gonna be. And before Saturday night, we'll put it up on the Twitter and the Instagram like this. These are the stakes.
Yeah.
And then we'll do it. Like works
for me.
I did see on the Steve Dangle podcast they did something. They did a donut bet.
Okay.
So maybe we can do something similar. I mean, we could just
similar to that.
We could do like beer bet or something like that.
Or we can do the new get the new Timbiebs from Tim Hortons.
Okay, do you want to talk about Timbiebs? Like,
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't.
So I will admit, that's a great commercial.
It is a great commercial.
I'm not a great Bieber fan, but that's a great commercial.
You got to see this commercial, James. It's real short. It's
Martine
it's
sent it to me. I haven't. I was too busy today to watch it.
You gotta watch it.
It's good.
Yeah, I will. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Okay, you know what? The stakes are a pack of Timbiebs, like a 20-pack of Timbiebs.
Deal.
That's amazing.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, you know what? We're on the topic. We're right here. Next 3 games. What do you think the Leafs are gonna do?
Oh, we're not talking about Timbiebs? Okay.
No, I don't know anything about it.
They're Timbits, designed by Justin Bieber. There you go.
Beautiful. Oh, sorry, real quick. Wilkin, this past week, win, lose, cry.
Win.
Chase?
It's a win. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts on that one.
And I'm going with the same answer. So, Chase, what do you think there? 3 games this week coming up, back-to-back, Friday, Saturday, against Calgary, Sabres, and Predators this week. Which games are going to win? Which games are going to lose?
Ooh, we got the Preds, eh?
While you mull that over,
Let's
sorry, go ahead.
Let's all 3 go Calgary, all 3 go Buffalo, all 3 go Preds.
Okay,
That's how we normally do it.
I think Calgary. That's going to be a loss against Calgary.
Nope, they're beating them.
I think Markstrom has been too strong so far. He had a weak game last night, so he's going to want to bounce back.
It's just not Friday. No, I do. I think the Leafs. Look how they play against Boston, and they got the win on Tampa. When they get pushed against a hard team, they can fight back. So I think they're going to take that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give the Leafs
as long as Campbell starts.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That
okay.
needs to be an asterisk there.
Yeah,
he's expected to start.
I think
I know
I
he
think
is.
he will. The only possible reason why he wouldn't is because it's Hockey Night in Canada, and for ratings they might want to have the starter in, but I don't think so.
No, so I think they're gonna take him. Brand, you? What'd you say?
I think they take Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah, they play good against good teams. They just play bad against bad teams.
Okay. Then going into the Sabres, you think they're going to lose that one?
They're going to lose against the Sabres.
I think they're going to beat the Sabres.
They'll beat the Sabres.
Thank you.
They're going to lose against the Sabres.
All right, and Chase, Preds?
I'm going to go ballsy. I'm going to say they're going to lose. The Preds they're an interesting team this year. There's not a really good read on them. So, as I said, I'm going to go with a ballsy pick. I should go with win because the Leafs do have a better offense, but I don't know. There's something about the Preds that just that just always have me interested.
See, I'm flipped the other way. I feel like I should say they're going to lose that game. Yeah, I'm going to say they're going to lose that game. They're going to lose to the Preds.
They're going to win. You want to know why they're going to win?
Why is that?
It's my first Leafs game in 2 years. I got tickets.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got tickets to
you
go.
Bring negative energy, so.
No, I'm wearing my Leaf suit. I'm going with our buddy Joel, and I haven't told him yet. I haven't showed him yet, and I think I've shown you, James, my Leaf suit, my suit jacket.
I think I've seen it.
Should I show the audience, or should I show them next week? I'll reveal it next week. If they win. If they don't,
I want to touch on something real quick.
Yeah.
Last week, we all predicted how the Leafs were going to do against Tampa and Boston, and you guys both said they were going to lose?
Yeah, I think so.
I said they'd beat Tampa.
I said they'd lose to Boston.
I said they'd lose to Boston. Yeah, you said 2-0. Okay.
I'd also like to mention that we only talked about those 2 games. We forgot about the other 2.
So I'm going to be completely honest. Yes, I definitely missed those 2 games.
We all did.
I'm going to be honest, though. If we'd talked about all 4, I would have said they would have won all 4.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they won 3 of 4.
That's true.
Right? Yeah. So the fact that they beat, realistically, Brandon, if I said, hey, here's 4 games, Tampa, Boston, Flyers, Kings, which game are they going to lose? Are you going to pick the Kings? No, yeah, right? So I said they're going to beat Tampa and the Bruins. So then you're going to, So obviously they're going to beat the Kings and the Flyers.
Yeah.
So, for an honest opinion, yes, I would have said they would have beat all 4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So keep a stat tracker of moving forward of our game predictions. See by the end of the year who's got the best one.
So far, I'm on top.
We should start that moving forward.
Well, we should go back and re-listen because I'm definitely winning that so far.
Well, maybe you guys should listen to
I said they're gonna win, and you know what? They won 5 games in a row.
Nah.
So
as you guys saw last week, and as anyone who follows our Instagram saw, I listened to this last week's podcast quite a few fucking times.
I heard.
It was 6 hours of editing audio.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
It was my fault. It was very much my fault.
Sounds more like a you problem than an us problem.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of editing.
Yeah. It wasn't for it. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun.
All right, let's move on here. What else happened in the league? Okay, so
We have one big
Jack Eichel.
Jack
Jack Eichel is now a Vegas Golden Knight player. What are you guys' opinions on that trade?
So you want to go first on this one?
Who has? Do other you guys have the trade up? Do you guys want to read off what the Chase? You said you had it up, right?
Yeah, but I moved it to get some other information. But luckily, I have it right here.
Okay, you got it.
I got it.
You read it off.
So, the trade was Eichel to the Golden Knights for Alex Tuch, Peyton Krebs, and a couple of draft picks. Now, the biggest draft pick in return is the 2022 first rounder from Vegas. However, that is going to be draft protected. And the conditions on that is if they have a top 10 pick, which being Vegas shouldn't happen, but you never know, could happen. Mm-hmm. So if they end up in the draft lottery in the top 10, Vegas now keeps the 2022 pick and they have to give up their 2023 pick. So that's going to be the biggest piece right there to watch. So that's the trade. So I don't know who wants to dive in first, but go for it.
Well,
go ahead, Brandon.
Why don't we start with, before we get deep into it, do you think who won the trade? Who won the trade and why?
Vegas.
Vegas won.
Vegas. And you want to know why?
Yeah, go for it.
Jack Eichel. Like...
I still say Vegas. I'll get a little bit further into the details why I don't think it's, to me, Vegas, it's a smart move for them to get him, but it's a little bit ill-advised in a situation. But Buffalo screwed themselves and Vegas fleeced them for Jack Eichel.
They waited. I guarantee they had better stuff on the table during the offseason. Guarantee it.
They had better stuff going in, but I'll dive into that one when we come back around.
All right. I don't have too much to say. I mean, it sounds like you have something to say, Chase. Do you want to
go ahead, Chase? Yeah, I don't have other than saying that Vegas won that. I have nothing to say about it.
I have a couple of opinion, but not too much. Kind of like surface level. Like, go ahead, man.
Yeah. So for this trade, great move by Vegas because with the disc replacement surgery that Eichel's getting, I believe it's tomorrow.
I think so.
He's been flown to Denver to have it done. It's a 4-month recovery process. If he had done the disc fusion like Buffalo wanted, it was actually going to be about an 8-month. So right there, I don't know why Buffalo didn't want this disc replacement. I understand hasn't really been done on a hockey player, but they've had great success for football players.
Mm-hmm. And UFC?
Yep.
Probably because they take an absolute shit kicking.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So the fact is like, I don't know if it's going to be good for hockey. I'm like, it's football players can get it. And UFC can get it. I'm pretty sure hockey players can get it.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think Buffalo really screwed up is they had the ability to so there's some bounce back for us, so this isn't true. But Matthew Tkachuk was on the block and part of a possible trade going from Calgary to Buffalo. But Buffalo said they will not retain any of Eichel's salary. With doing that stopped the Bruins from trading with them. That stopped Colorado. That stopped St. Louis. That stopped Calgary. There's one other team that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. They had a lot more on the table with higher picks, higher prospects. Mm-hmm. That they said, well, if we're not retaining salaries, those teams pulled out. Vegas went in, gave them, to me, a very low ball offer. They had to take it because there's no other team that wanted to pay the ticket. Alex Tuch is not near Eichel's talent, but he's going to be a good second, third liner for them moving forward, which
he's a roster
good piece
player.
after the rebuild. Peyton Krebs will be a good prospect. I don't know if he's going to get to that top 6 necessarily projection that they gave him. He might be a second, third liner as well, depending on how Buffalo treats him, which we know that could hurt. But then on the other side of the coin, when you look at Vegas, they bring in $10 million in the cap. It's not like Kucherov where he's going to be back come playoff time. He's back in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're $11 million over the cap like when he becomes healthy and comes off LTIR.
I do have a question about that though. Isn't it because he missed like half the season? His cap hit it's not a full 10 million cap hit because he's only playing part of the season, isn't it? There's some cap shenaniganery about that.
It's for the whole payment, but for the cap purpose, it is $10 million for the cap hit.
Okay.
Because they go off of what he signed for that year.
Okay.
So they're going to have to move 2 to 3 contracts, depending on who it is. So does this mean we're going to see a bigger piece like William Karlsson leave? Will they try to do some shenanigans, move some of their bottom 6 players? So now they're going to run into what we're kind of seeing what Tampa's run into, where you're loaded in your top 6. What else do you have behind you? Because they're not getting depth scoring the way they did last year.
No.
And even luckily Toronto right now, you're seeing some depth scoring, but you're seeing your top 4 do all the damage. So great. It's a good move for Vegas because now maybe you've got that piece to push you over the edge. But now who do you have to necessarily move once Stone, Pacioretty, and Eichel all become healthy in about 4 months? So that it's gonna create a little bit more shifting and some more opportunity down there.
Yeah, I didn't realize Pacioretty's $7 million, Mark Stone's $9.5, and they have no cap space.
Yeah, no, it's they've got to move some things around.
That's
very you know what? You know what? They wouldn't have made this trade unless they had something planned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, but when you're a team like that, that's already a perennial powerhouse already. Yeah, you had that piece to possibly take over the edge, but could this be a similar thing that we saw back in like 2000 and what year was it? I think 2000, 2003 when the Rangers went out and got Yager, Drury. They built this super team, but you had too many people that wanted the puck or wanted the shot. So then they never gelled, and you thought, okay, they're the cut favorites, and they fall off. Could this be the same thing now, bringing Eichel into a team where you have a lot of shooters and a lot of big names? What's going to happen? So there's a lot of pieces to see what's going to happen, but we have 4 months to speculate all we want before we'll see the finished product on the ice.
They're going to have a fun trade deadline.
Yes.
This year it's going to be wild.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
Across the entire league, it's going to be an intense trade deadline.
After that trade, it's come out Edmonton's looking for another defenseman and another goalie.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, that goalie conversation could be interesting.
Because I told James before, but the one rumor that's somewhat floating, it's not, again, speculation. Nothing's been fully leaked, but there has been rumors that it could be Fleury moving to Edmonton.
Because he is not happy in Chicago, eh?
No,
he didn't he say I can't remember the quote, but he's like, it's hard to smile some days or something like that. It was something about not being able to smile.
Something like that.
And he's a happy guy.
Yeah, he put up 42 saves last night.
Yeah, but
he did.
So
okay, can you blame him though? Playing for that team this year,
on and off the ice,
yeah.
Right, everything going on off the ice is one thing, but on the ice, they're still garbage as well.
But I found out my neighbor in my new place here, I haven't been talking to him too much since I moved in, but I was talking to him today, and he's been a Blackhawks fan most of his life, and he's like, I switched. He says I can't deal with how they treated people and how they let all this stuff get away from them, and he's like, I was there when they won the cups, and he's like, you know what? I hope they don't win another one for a long time. And I'm like,
see you later.
Wow.
Now the next question is, what team did he switch to?
He is he's doing like a mixture. He's trying different teams out. He didn't go to Toronto, if that's what you're asking.
He's in free agency, so anyone can bid on him.
He says he's been watching a lot of Carolina games and Boston. I'm like, fuck you, watching Boston. Piece of shit.
Well, Boston makes sense. If he likes Chicago, another Original Six team,
it makes sense. Yeah, and then Carolina
makes sense because
they're good.
They're just a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
And they got Fred.
Yeah, James's boyfriend's on that team.
I got Freddie. Hey, don't tell Dowdy. You know
I
what?
got
You
him
know what
on
I'm pissed off about? You know what I'm pissed off about?
What?
So I very rarely watch Kings games because A, they're on at 10 o'clock at night. Um, and I only watch when they play the Leafs.
Yeah.
So all last year, I mean, they didn't play the Kings at all because, or sorry, not last year. Last season, they didn't play the Kings at all because Northern Division.
Mm.
This year's the first time they come up, no doubt in the lineup. Last year, 2020, I went down to LA in January, right before COVID hit, and I went to a Kings game, and Doughty wasn't in the lineup that night.
He's avoiding you.
I know.
You sure it's not a restraining order?
every player has that one crazy fan. I'm shaking the glass. Like, come on, man. Just give me a
And the
puck.
worst, you know what the worst thing is too? If you want to stay up on Wednesday, November 24th to watch Toronto at LA,
Yeah.
there's a good chance he's still not in the lineup by then.
No, he won't be. He won't be.
It sucks.
You're going like
So-
3 years, just no Doughty.
Maybe I'll see him play one day, but then he'll be retired. You know, hey, you know what? He might be there for the Olympics, so
Oh, okay.
I get to see him win another gold medal. I'm good enough for that, dude. He's making the team.
If
don't
he's
think
healthy.
he will.
He's making the team.
If he's healthy.
He will
We
be
should
by
do that
then. He
next
will
week.
be.
Yeah. What's his deal right now?
I don't know. His knee.
His knee.
He's
Yeah.
out six to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think is that it for the Eichel trade?
Yeah, there's not much to really
Nothing
say
else.
right now.
Okay. So I think that's all the talks I have to talk about. I got one kind of fun question. It popped into my head earlier this week, and I don't know how it did, but it's kind of a fun question I want to ask you guys. What player would you like to see win a Stanley Cup, but the player has to be at least over the age of 30? So you can't be saying like a Matthews, I want to see win it, right? Like I want to talk about a player who's been in the league at least over the age of 30, and you would like to see them win a Stanley Cup before they retire.
Okay.
Who wants to go first on that one?
Well, so you want to go? Because I know you have such a love for this guy.
Jason Spezza. Beautiful, beautiful man, Jason Spezza. He hasn't gotten a cup. He's been to a cup final once. I think just once with twice. Ottawa and
He was there. Was he there? No, he wasn't in there with the Stars in the
No.
bubble.
No, I think it was just the one time.
Yeah, it would just be the one.
Yeah, it was just the one time with Ottawa. He's played a bunch of playoff hockey. Yeah, he's never gotten farther after that, and he's 38 years old, and he's still putting up numbers. He's not like Joe Thornton. I would love to see him get a cup. He deserves a cup. He's Joe Thornton, but at 38, 39, he wasn't. He was past his prime. He was there as a locker room presence. Spetz is there as a locker room presence, but he's contributing. He's one of the he was leading on the he was almost leading on this team this year. He's so good. He tried like we say this about Hyman. He is the hardest worker on this. That's Spezza. We were was it in the bubble? I can't remember the playoff series. It might have been the bubble against Columbus where we were down, and then he got into a fight, and Jason Spezza gets into a fight. And
that would have been Columbus,
yeah.
I think.
Like he's just he's putting up points. He's locker room presence. He's on the bench yelling. He's playing hard. Like I can't say enough good things about him. I want him to, when he's finally retired and can't play anymore, I want them to give him like an assistant coach job, and like, okay, you don't have to say anything, just kind of be there and give advice. I don't care about coaching, just give advice. Just be there, like give Marner a pat on the shoulder because it's Jason freaking Spezza. Like he's gotten a gold medal. He's got 975 points in his career. He's almost at 1,000. He's got 1,190 games played. Like he's been here for a while. He's been putting up points. He's got a gold medal. Like I love the guy. He deserves a cup, and I really want it to be with the Leafs.
Yeah, hey, I would love to see that. I love Jason Spezza.
And
I was ecstatic when the Leafs got him.
the fact that
Yeah, I was.
the fact that he's like, I wish I could take less money to keep playing here.
Yeah.
And the fact that he straight up says, do not claim me on waivers. I will just straight up freaking retire.
Yeah.
Like, that
Oh
man.
yeah.
I know it's mostly because he plays for a team and it's how much he loves this team. But it's not just that, it's also the accolades he has. Jason
Yeah.
Spezza has always been a phenomenal player. It's a bit of bias because of how good he's been for the Leafs and how in and out of the rink. I love the guy. I want him to win a cup, and I really want it to be with the Leafs.
That's fair.
That's my take.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Spezza as well. Even before he was a Leaf player, I absolutely love him. I love him,
Phenomenal
especially
player.
back on Ottawa. He was fantastic. Chase, you want me to go or you want to go?
You can go.
So mine is an ex-Leaf player. I want Freddie Anderson to win a cup, just for the purpose that I love. He's a great goalie, and I've loved him since he joined the league. I don't know why, but for some weird reason, I liked Anderson. I liked Anaheim, back in I think it was 2013, 2014 when they were really good, and he was their starter then, and I've been attached to him since then. And I was same as Spezza. I was super pumped when he got traded to the Leafs. Or when he got moved to the Leafs there. I was ecstatic about that. And I was excited to see what was going to happen. But I mean, 3 years on Anaheim, they are the number one team in their division. And I think the 1 year they made it to the third round, and the other years they were eliminated. I think 1 year they made first round, one was second, one was third. So they never got to the finals. He was on one of the Cup favorite teams, and they just couldn't get it. So I was sad to see him not get it there. Then he gets moved to the Leafs in 2016-17 season, which was not a good season.
No.
And then 17-18, and then the team's getting better. Last year hits, and I think we can all agree, last year was the Leafs' best chance for a cup.
Mm-hmm.
And look how that turned out.
Soiled it.
Right? So I felt bad for him again there, because it looked like we were on the right path, and here he is again. Not even playing at that point.
Yeah, unfortunately his injuries just caught up to him. And it's kind of like what we said with Campbell. We don't want that happening with Campbell.
And then this year, he's on the Carolina Hurricanes. His goals against average is 1.74 right now, and he has a save percentage at .939.
What a jerk.
Doing some good playing. He was going for Campbell's record.
He was close.
I secretly wanted him to get it just because I love Anderson. I secretly wanted him to get it. But I mean, I think he went 9 games and lost. So
yeah, 9.
Yeah.
I mean, can't really complain with that. So
He's the Danish prince.
yeah, he's a wonderful man. He really is. So that's if I had to choose a player that I'd like to see, it's gonna be Anderson.
Okay.
Good choice.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
choice.
with that being said, like you said about Thornton, there are a lot of players that I would like to see win the Stanley Cup. But for me, I've had an attachment to Anderson since he joined the league, and he was on a Cup contending team twice now, and it didn't work out. And now he's on a third Cup contending team. Just give the man what he wants.
Just give the man a cup.
Just maybe not this year. I want the Leafs to win this year. He can win it next year. All right, Chase, who do you have there?
I was kind of torn between a couple, but one stands out. The two I was kind of torn with was either Eric Johnson from the Avs, because watching him come over from St. Louis and be a part of that defense and be there from being a decent squad to being bottom of the league to back up to being a favorite, be kind of cool to see. And same with you guys.
When was he on? Did he win with St. Louis?
No, he was traded. It was 08, 09, if I remember correctly.
Off of St. Louis or on to?
Off St. Louis. He came over to Colorado for Kevin Shattenkirk.
Oh, okay, got it.
And then same as you guys, Joe Thornton. You got to respect that man.
Yeah.
great hockey player, great beard.
Great beard.
But that's a great beard. Better than Muzzin's.
James, I think you're just jealous because
Fair.
you can't grow one.
Hey, I don't care. It is
I
better than
admire it
Mussins.
because
I'll
I
give
can't
you
grow
that.
It is better than Muzzin's.
Yeah.
But the overall for me, the being a goalie and being biased, my big one is Carey Price. That man is, to me, I know Vasilevsky is up there and all, but I still think he's the best goalie in the world. I think I'm still living in the past, and what he would do with Montreal last year and get them to that point.
You're not living in the past.
No.
Even being a cup contender, like he proved it. And then just to kind of break down, in 2006, 2007, he won a World Junior Gold Medal. He won the Canadian Hockey League and Western Hockey League Goalie of the Year. And then when that season was done, he was then shipped to Hamilton in the AHL, and he won the Calder Cup Championship and won the MVP of the playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
All in that 1 year. And then just other ones in 2013, 2014, he won the gold medal with Canada. 2014, 2015, he won the Hart Trophy, the Ted Lindsay, the Vezina, and the Jennings. And then he's played 707 career games, a career 2.5 goals against average, a 917 save percentage, 49 shutouts. 2016, 2017, won the World Cup gold medal with Canada when it was in Toronto, and 360 NHL wins.
And the trophies there. He's the only goaltender to win all 4 in 1 year, isn't he? I think he's the only.
Jose Theodore might have done it in 02, 03, because I know he won the Hart. You might be right, because I don't think he won that year.
I think Carey Price is the only goaltender to win all 4 in 1 year.
The only other goalie I can think of that could have done it would have been either Jose Theodore or probably Dominik Hasek.
Okay.
That guy was.
I'm not
he's
sure.
He was a beast, but the awards alone and just the way that all the stuff he does for his community and his native tribe back home, and going and seeing what he's gone through now and seeing some of the stuff that's come out the last couple of days over the main reason why he entered the players program.
Mm-hmm.
The man deserves a Stanley Cup. This guy fights day in, day out.
Yeah.
He's as I said, you said I'm not living the past, so I'm going to agree with you. I still think he's the best goalie in the world.
I would agree, and I'm going to say he's done everything except the cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's I do have one honorable mention.
Who?
Brent Burns. I would like to see Brent Burns take a Stanley Cup.
Yes, I agree with that.
I don't think it'll ever happen, but I would like seeing him win a Stanley Cup.
The only way it happens is if he gets traded out of San Jose.
Yeah, he's not winning one in San Jose.
Hey, Hall's on the trading block. We'll make a little swap. Hall's on the trading block.
Yeah,
We'll
a little swapping swap.
Yeah, little salary retention.
They're also trying to ship out Thomas Hertl, so who knows? Everything could be up for grabs in San Jose.
Yeah, fire sale.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. All right, so that's some pretty good names there. Pretty good names.
Yeah. I think I agree with both yours.
Yeah.
Good list.
Yeah, I mean, if any of those players won, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them this year.
Hey, we'll see. We'll
see.
Probably not Price.
I don't think.
No, what's going to happen is he's going to come back. They'll play Detroit. He'll let up 8 goals. He'll then walk down the bench, tell the owner this is the last game that he's ever playing in Montreal. Then all of a sudden he's traded to Colorado.
Yep.
And wins it right there on the spot.
Didn't he win 2 back-to-back?
2.0 going.
Didn't he win like 2 back-to-back pretty much?
Won it in 96, then 2000, 2001 with Colorado.
Okay. I knew he won it twice. I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, I think that's it for everything I got to say this week.
Before we wrap up, I do have one funny yet weird stat.
All right.
Has to do with Arizona in their first win this past week.
Oh, lovely.
2017. Coyotes start the season 0-10-1. They acquire Scott Wedgwood from New Jersey. In Wedgwood's first game with Arizona, they win their first game of the season. Let's fast forward 4 years to 2021. Coyotes start 0-10-1. They acquire Scott Wedgwood from New Jersey. And in Wedgwood's first game with Arizona, they win their first. So history
Wow.
repeat itself, folks.
Wow.
He's the key. He's
What
the
are the
key.
chances?
Any team that starts 0-10, acquire Scott Wedgwood. He'll snap that for you, no problem.
Yeah. Trade him after that, but
Yeah,
Oh,
get rid of him
yeah.
after that because I'm pretty sure he's let up 4 tonight.
Oh.
So he's not. Just let him go.
He
are they
broke
they are in last place, eh?
yeah.
Yeah,
3 points.
Yeah, they own it very well.
That hurts.
Oh, sorry, Wedgwood
Looks
did not
5
start tonight.
I was gonna say because Minnesota's beating them 5-1 right now.
Yeah, I can't
Oh.
even pronounce that goalie's last name.
Hold on, let me give it a shot.
Vejmelka? That'd be the closest I could get to it. Karl Vejmelka? He's from the Czech. Tribich. And Wedgwood has made his appearance, so I don't know. Watch out, Minnesota.
Oh, really? They pulled him?
Yeah. Oh, that's 5 on
5
22.
goals,
I'd
man.
take him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Five
Oh,
on
that's a
5. I'm letting the goalie go. 5 on 22. You're getting the hook.
yeah. 773. Ouch. All right, I think I think that's all I got to say this week, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
All right.
Hopefully, Joseph. What's his name?
Well,
Joseph Wool. Hopefully, he doesn't have a 7.73.
no, he won't. He'll do well.
He'll do well.
774.
7.74. I got a pack of Timbiebs on the line here, so
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right. Is that it?
yeah, guys.
I think
I think that's it for this week.
All right then.
All right, so we'll be back again next Thursday.
Yep. Going over the 3 games.
Going over the 3 games. Hopefully it's not a continuous thing where we miss massive trades like Jack Eichel right after a recording. But we'll see. Hopefully we don't keep doing that. Yeah, so we'll see you guys next Thursday. And I'll be eating a nice pack of Timbiebs on the podcast next week.
Yeah, right.
Nice 20-pack
Yeah,
of Timbiebs.
right.
Man, every time I say it, it sounds really nasty. I don't want to say that anymore.
Enjoy them.
Yeah, I will.
All
guys.
right.
We'll see you guys next Thursday. Have a great night.
See ya.
See you.